Really? No music? No lyrics? Ay, caramba. All right, go away, girlie. Go away, little girl. Go. Leave me. Leave me. You're done. Get out of here. Go. Go. How long do I have to wait? Are you going to turn off automatically?
Ken Stout
There.
Live said, well, there is at least audio.
Yeah, and SpeakerBot is live, so you should have been able to hear that. I did some major restructuring of SpeakerBot, where my videos are stored, how my OBS scenes and sources are stored, and apparently that's one that I didn't. No, I did test that button. I did test that bumper yesterday. I know I did, because that's of my 5 bumpers, sort of. That's the one that I was going to use today because
John Williams said, hello, Doug.
Fixed and tested. Hello, John. I was thinking to myself that I was going to let you know that I made all this restructuring, so some things might go wrong today. But it went wrong before I even had the chance to let you know. Okay. I saw a couple comments in here from Brian Lightfoot, so I intentionally skipped over them and did not read them, because I suspect they're jokes. Because France assisted the U.S. in the War of Independence, does France have a 4th of July? Before answer. I got your answer. I got your answer right here. Well, that's been in chat for a while, so I'm not blowing for it. Yes, they have a 4th of July. They have a 1st of July. They have a 2nd of July. They have 3rd, 4th. Yeah, they have a 4th of July. I got you. I got you. You nailed. And by the way, since I missed the opening, anyone else missed the opening? Good morning. It's 9 a.m. Well, 9:02:36. July, not the 1st, not the 2nd, not the 3rd, not the 4th. Yes, it's the 4th. Oh, slow down, Doug. It is the 4th of July. And in the U.S., admittedly, we're so arrogant here, we think everybody around the world knows that that's our Independence Day celebration. So if you didn't know that, the cat's out of the bag. You know it now. So hello to Brian. Hello, Alice.
Jim KJ3N said seems confused.
You think so? Brian, Ken Stout had a 4th of July picnic, but it wasn't that good. The barbecue was bad. The sausages were the worst. Ken injured all his fingers on some fireworks. That shows you can't count on him anymore because his fingers are injured. And it occurred to me yesterday that this is isn't it the 1-year anniversary of Ken's injury last year at a 4th of July celebration.
Martin Hogg said, hello, Doug. I like the tiger.
Hello, Martin. Oh, did you see the tiger? Yeah, I changed the way that, let's see, this should not be here because that's going to interfere with Stormy when she comes up. I almost called her Wendy. That would be wrong. I changed the way that randoms are done and the way that vanishings are done and the way that my bumpers are done. And I restructured where my trailers are stored because as you start developing things and you don't know what the end result is going to be, it can get a little sloppy. So what is different about the victors or vanishings? That's what these are right now, the exclamation mark V. Do you already know what is different about them? You might not have that answer yet. Let's see, that must have been Brian's victor. Happy 4th of July to all. It's party time in the US of yay. Totally awesome trailer. Hello, John.
Ken Stout Live said, my fall? That happened at the State Fair and not on the 4th, but thank you for remembering.
State Fair, oh, it was not on the 4th? I thought there were fireworks involved. That's why I thought it was the 4th. But fireworks can happen other times. I get fireworks off of my balcony pretty often with football games. There's 3 different areas of town that I can see the fireworks displays from here. They sometimes do that on Fridays,
John
Saturdays,
Williams
Sundays.
said the glass did not break.
The glass did not break. Yeah, that's not really the intended change. One of the victors, the glass does break, and you get the sound. I need to fix it on the others, because I would change the way I want to do that too, because that was just too complicated to make it work on each of them. Too much manipulations every day. I'm trying to automate things, so there's less to do, less to remember, and I've got an idea. Just before the show started, I got an idea how to automate my microphone being turned on. I'm going to have a light, easy day, which is the way I want it. I've had busy holidays in my past. I enjoy light and easy these days. Ken DeBryan, I predicted 500 to 700 last night. Wow, wax on, wax off. I haven't seen his wax on, wax off video yet. What do you got going here? Oh, I guess I just caught the tail end of something. There's John had done a Victor. I guess I missed it. Martin Hogg, hello from the UK. I
Stout Lave said my comments will be slower today. I am down to 1 finger typing, and that finger keeps falling off.
Yeah, because of the injury to his fingers. Got it. Better not raining here. Rick Lakes, John Williams, said Martin Hodden, Ken said already. Selden Ball, hello. Dennis, hello. Got Spanish for 5 seconds. I can skip a Spanish advertisement. Thanks for the update. I do like to hear about that once in a while. Zavim Manoor, hello. Did he? Oh, I know I said something. I know I said a speako. Oh, maybe it's when I was watching yesterday's show, a speako, when I meant to say one thing and I said something different. I was also almost going to remember what it was. Do not remember. Did he just call you Josh? To John. Did I say that? Something might go wrong today. Priceless. Long Dog Jim seems confused. How come you're not out eating hot dogs and blowing stuff up? I have a hot dog and a hot dog bun thawed in my refrigerator. So maybe that'll be my lunch. I almost said lunch. Happy Firework Day, the invention from our Chinese forefathers, discovery of gunpowder. We need to celebrate. Okay, I'm going back to main camera. So here you got a chance to do something, because interesting difference about this 4th of July. My neighborhood has 2 or 3 neighbors that have commonly done a bunch of illegal fireworks, and before the 4th, all leading up to it. I didn't hear much at all this year so far. Tonight, I'm kind of wondering if maybe they've been warned by the legal authorities that they're going to start cracking down or something, because those neighbors are not firing off a bunch of illegal fireworks before the 4th, and I'm wondering if they might not today. My fall happened at the state fair. Thanks for remembering. Glass did not break. Comments will be slower today. 1 finger, wax on, wax off. I haven't seen that. Still growing at 1324. It's still growing. I'm going to guess that is the sand the floor, paint the fence. Danielle Sand. Now that one over my head. I don't know. Oh, I just got a new one in there. I thought I might have been way behind. I'm not. My neighborhood, unfortunately, loaded with illegal fireworks. Incredible arsenal of fireworks.
Ken Stout Live said my wax on wax off short I uploaded.
Yeah, I know about it. I just haven't seen it yet. Sand the floor, paint. Oh, that's what you're doing. Wax on, wax off. So sanding the floor is wax off. Painting the fence is wax on. Although it's not wax, but we don't expect Ken to know the difference. Right? Okay. Channel comments. A couple of channel comments. This one's a little bit out overdue. Warren Fernando.
Jim KJ3N said Karate Kid first movie.
Oh, that's
Keith
a reference.
said Karate Kid.
Karate Kid.
Ken Stout Live said such a Doug.
Danielle San. Yeah, Karate Kid. I watched a series of karate something or other. I'm not sure I watched Karate Kid the movie. That must be where your reference to Danielle San is from. Anyway, here, Warren A. Fernando. I wonder if that's correct. I wonder if his name is actually Warren A. Fernando. Give me thumbs up on the Dell laptop unboxing initial setup. No Microsoft account. Oh, Fernando, I'll call you Fernando. What we do around here, Fernando, is live stream 6 days a week. With the first objective is to respond to people's questions. Questions put in the chat room, or comments on videos, or sent to me by email to the email address. It's on the screen right now. I invite you to come and check us out and hang with us if you're at all interested. Thank you for the comment, Warren Fernando. I'll give him a thumbs up and a heart after the show when I reply to him with a timestamp to this point in the video. Lawn Dog has a short little comment here. Let me show you how. Hey, Doug, how short is Lawn Dog's comment? Really? When he gets into comments rather than chat room, is this all he's going to give us? No, it says read more. Here is Lawn Dog's comment. All right, so I'm going to leave it paused on that screen for a little bit. And if you're interested in reading it, you can read it. You can pause it and read it later. You know what? When I zoom in on this, it just does not work very well at all, does it? I should figure out a better way to zoom that. So I'll just leave it there. You can read through that. I'm not going to read it out loud, but the main thing that he gets into here somewhere in there is he's saying that he's going to use my conclusions on my BIOS update to determine how he was going to do it, and he didn't think I said how I did it. Yes, I did. I was scratching my head about how you did not perceive that, but I thought I mentioned it multiple times. The method I used was putting the USB thumb drive in the back of the computer and pressing the button on the back while the computer was turned off. Now, I chose that method because that's the method that I first found in the manual. Turns out that is the method in Chapter 2 for setting up the computer. There are optional methods in Chapter 3, and I think the most commonly consistent one across all custom motherboards is download the BIOS update onto the thumb drive and then go into BIOS settings and use the menu methods within your BIOS setup screen to install the update from the USB memory stick. The method that I used is only going to be available on computers that have that feature built onto the motherboard, which I don't think is very common. All right, then coming back to, let's see, what I'm going to give Lawn Dog a thumbs up and a heart. And I notice now with my changes that when I switch from monitor 1 to my camera 1, it's doing that slow burn, that fade. And at one point I thought that I needed to do that. So I'm going to switch that to cut. So now this should just cut back and forth because I like that better, going from monitor 1 to camera 1. And see what else. Ken Stout, are you aware if a subscribed member who is gifting memberships is capped out at a certain amount that can be gifted, asking for a friend? I was contemplating about that when I noticed last night Tony Wallow bought some more memberships because he's got this addiction going on. No. Love you, Tony, for doing that. And it's really useful to see what happens. I was wondering if it was a limit to how many that he can give out, or is it the case that YouTube has run out of potential recipients because we have not seen any documentation or any evidence that a person who is not explicitly turned on allow gifting to a channel, from a channel, that they would receive a gift of a channel membership. Now that would imply that all the people who have received gifts so far that Tony Wallow gave, which is somewhere around 120, I think he's about 150 or somewhere around there, but it doesn't look like all of them have been awarded yet. Could it be that all of those people from the coin
Ken
community...
Stoutlive said, how many billions of subscribers on YouTube run out doubtful?
Well, no, not right there, Ken. Billions of subscribers. You don't have billions of subscribers, people subscribing to your channel. You're somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000. I don't know where it is right now. But all of the documentations we've seen, and we haven't been able to prove opposite, is that we've seen it say that you must allow receipt of gifting from a particular channel that you want to receive gifts from. And there haven't been billions of those who have asked for that from your channel. We haven't seen a global method of allowing gifts. However, I do think that in the past, it was the case that, in fact, after Ken's channel was started, that you could
Ken
allow gifting
Stoutlive said
globally.
it has been verified that they do not have to be subscribed to the channel, and yes, they have to allow gifting.
Yes, I agree with that. They do not have to be subscribed. But we've also seen that, as I showed yesterday, that a person has to have had some interaction with your channel. That it's not just going to go to random people out there in the ether.
Ken Stoutlive said gifting started August of 2023.
Gifting started, and I think around that time, there was a global...
DDT 2005 said 1.76 thousand on Ken's channel.
Thank you, Dennis. I think around that time when gifting started, you could globally allow gifting, that you could receive gifts. Because I remember doing it. And I showed a documentation yesterday that implied that that feature has been there in the past, but it currently is not there. So the people who did that back then, are they grandfathered in? Do they still have that feature working for them to allow gifting globally so they can receive it? But then the other thing is, will YouTube gift a membership to somebody who has never watched any of your videos, never had any interaction with your channel? If the data doesn't matter, buy a new one. If it does, $300 data recovery. Oh, that's to Keith. Oh, Keith has a question. Please let me know if somebody has a question coming up in chat. Anyone have a recommendation for getting an external drive recovered? The head just clicks. Absolutely, the way to go is $300 data recovery. It's probably going to cost you more than $300 because with a clicking head, they're going to have to get a donor drive so that they can swap heads. And there's going to be additional charge for that, but it's very reasonable. And absolutely, best way to go, Keith. Let's see, did I understand everything about his question? Anyone have a recommendation for getting an external hard drive recovered? The head just clicks. Yeah, don't do anything more with it. Stop turning it on. Don't do anything, because the head clicking could be damaging the platters more, and that complicates it more. What $300 data recovery will do is they will bring your drive in and they will swap those platters either into another drive, or they will swap the heads and the controller mechanism from another drive onto your drive in order to recover the data. And they have very frequent communications with you by email letting you know how the process is going. I have worked with them on a couple of occasions, and they were successful. However, on one occasion, my client decided not to complete the recovery because they had determined a workaround that they were already had engaged. Absolutely, that's the way to go. Did Keith give any response back? Yeah, and he said thanks to Wintermute. So I absolutely concur with that. Tony was actually charged for those gifts. However, it appears that only one went to someone. I would expect that the charge should occur when he makes the purchase, and that YouTube's not under any obligation to give them out right away. Now, here's the thing to try, Ken, is get somebody else, maybe from the coin channel, manipulate this, make this happen somehow. Get somebody else to go allow gifting and see if they were pretty quickly gifted one of those memberships. And if they are, then that indicates that YouTube did indeed run out of potential recipients. That's my working theory at the moment. Long Doug Heath, it has a mechanical problem, serious one. Because of that mechanical issue, it has to be fixed in order to operate the drive. Just like a car, you break a piston, break a piston, your car is not in a run until the piston is replaced. You can't just put antifreeze in the radiator and expect it to run if it has a broken piston. All right. Doug, on the method you choose, he says, okay, on the method you choose, my next email link will show drivers.
Ken Stout Live said, if they allow and actually get one right away, is that an indication that those gifts are in a queue?
If they allow and actually get one right away, is that an indication that those gifts are in a queue? Yeah, absolutely. And that YouTube is waiting for more potential recipients. So just try it first with one. If that works, then maybe a day later, try it with another one. If that one works, then that indicates, yeah, you've reached the limit available. And like I mentioned the other day, is that YouTube hasn't foreseen all the possible weird things that could happen. They perhaps never thought that somebody might gift so many memberships that they run out of potential recipients. They might not have thought that would ever happen. Another thing I'm thinking of, is that YouTube might not have conceived that somebody might intentionally set their membership at the lowest possible value and then arrange for somebody to give a ton of giftings to try to get more interaction from those people on your channel. I don't think YouTube would be upset about that, but and of course YouTube has made it plain that this whole membership concept is to get people more engaged with your channel. But to intentionally set it at the lowest amount so that you can afford to give a ton of memberships out, that's an interesting idea. And I'm also interested to see, Ken, if you get activity from those gifted memberships, if you can recognize that they have come in and become engaged. Then there's also a place in your analytics, and I think I showed it yesterday, that video that I showed yesterday. You got to watch that video. I think that's one, or maybe it's one of the other videos after that. Shows where to go into your analytics to see exactly how many memberships have been gifted. And I can't go look at that analytic because I don't have memberships turned on. Here, John Alois has a question. So it'd be really good if somebody else or
DDT
John
2005 said queue, checking something.
Would do a Q. Yeah, I think somebody wrote it as K rather than Q-U-E-U. E is the correct spelling for Q. Of course, I think that was Ken that misspelled it, right? Yeah, and a Q. Is that an indication those gifts are in a K? Q-U-E-U-E. More letters. John Aloy has a question. So after you type in your question, the next line could be exclamation mark chi. C. Exclamation mark C to read chat. Or somebody else could do an exclamation mark C space.
Ken Stout
John
Live
Aloy.
said, blame the finger on the misspelling.
I blame the finger, yeah. Blame it on the finger, or the missing fingers, because of his injury. I have a question about the gifting. How do you receive notice that you receive one? It'll come to you by your email. And I showed, it'll come to the email that your YouTube account is registered on, and I'm going to show what that email looks like. It'll show up in the chat window of that live stream where the gift was awarded. Now, is it possible that some memberships will be awarded when you're not live streaming? I don't think so. I think it's supposed to happen during a live stream or during a premiere. Ken, you might want to test what happens when you do a premiere and see if gifting is live there too. It's supposed to be. I'm looking forward here. Is it this one? Not that one. Where is that email? This one? No. I'm poking around in emails trying to find. I thought I had that earmarked for a live Windows training. All right, I don't see it there, so I'm gonna have to go to my mailbox and oh, I know why I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I'm not seeing it because I sent it from my Yahoo account. That's what I said wrong yesterday. I said that I sent Ken an email from my YouTube account. No, I sent it from my yahoo.com account email address for that YouTube account that received the gift. So here, I forwarded that to Ken and to myself.
John Williams said, "Got it,
show
Ken."
up here. Yeah, here's what the email looks like coming from YouTube. And if you have promotional emails blocked, it might go into your spam folder. Congrats, you were gifted a channel membership.
Ken Stoutleaf said yes. It went to spam, actually, LL.
Ah, all right. So the one I sent to Ken went to spam. I'm understanding that to mean. Yeah, this is what the email from YouTube looks like. And this is where I clicked into those
Ken Stoutleaf said
additional
correct.
videos. All right. Thank you, Ken. So that's how you receive a notice. Thanks for the recommendation. Not sure if data is important or not. Now they will, excuse me, if you send it to them and engage with them and then decide not to complete the recovery, they'll give you a list of file names that they believe they can recover, and then they want you to commit for the next amount. You're not going to be on the hook for the whole $300. So you can engage with them and get some information about what is recoverable before they actually perform the recovery. Now, when they get that list of file names that they think they can recover, they're not giving you that list after they've actually recovered the files. Their system produces a list of files that appear to be recoverable, and then to actually do that recovery takes more time. So before they go that extent, they want the extra confirmation from you, the extra commitment from you. And then I think that's where you pay the rest of the money for that $300 minimum. And it's probably going to cost them a little bit more because of needing the donor parts. Now, sometimes if it's a very common drive and they already have the donor parts, that's going to be very, very inexpensive. Maybe they won't charge at all. I don't know that. And now in my request that you let me know about somebody's question, sometimes the question's already answered because people in the chat room are certainly capable of answering the question. But that doesn't bring up the topic for the other people who might view this video. So I still request that you let me present the topic to the people who'll be watching the video later, even if it's already solved. Click of death needs to prevent well over warranty. Let's see, talking about that. Beat me the answer. Alex, check your email. Alex, I did see your email. I'm going to choose not to present that information. And he gave me an email with a topic that he suggested that I show, and it has to do with getting videos that you haven't paid for, backdoor kind of method. That's not really what I want my channel to be about. It's about people having problems with computers and trying to solve those. I appreciate that you want to share that, but that's not really something that I want to invite people to be exploring more around here. I'm assuming you're talking about that email that you sent me a day or two ago. Yeah, no, there's no emails there. So, and he admitted that I might choose to not talk about that. Oh, I do need to go back to emails though, because I had some other things lined up to respond to. If there's something in chat that you think I would like to be able to respond to, even if it's already solved, please let me know. Yeah. All right, I'll do this much for Alex. I'll display this on the screen briefly. You can pause the video there and read through that and act on that if you want to, but I'm not going to go through that. And come back here. Oh, Adobe problem that I had yesterday. This was weird. Let's make this big. Launching Adobe Premiere 2024. It was saying I've reached the device activation limit. It would not let me launch Adobe Premiere Pro on Big Beast build. And it's saying that I have these other devices, Big Beast build, that is activated, and this device, well, this computer is Big Beast build. Look at the name of the computer here. I've got system about showing here. It's Doug-BBB. And I don't know why. Oh, you know what? Here's why I did it. I did a BIOS update. That's what happened between the last time I used Adobe Premiere Pro and that launch yesterday. I had done a BIOS update. I bet that was enough to damage the activation. And I heard Sean talking about an activation problem for Windows last night on Ken Stout show. And I'm wondering, he said he didn't make any hardware changes, but did he do a BIOS update? Could that have an impact on Windows activation? It seems like it wouldn't, but I don't know. Wintermute's got a X in chat. I don't know what that's about. Danger. So anyway, I signed out and I reperformed the activation for Big Beast build in order to fix that. Okay. Is he trying to tell me that I did something I should go back and check on? Yeah, Jim's saying that shouldn't matter. I agree, that shouldn't matter. So I'm suspecting there's something else, some other piece of the story about that computer that Sean had trouble with that he didn't mention during the show last night that I watched Ken Stout live, or Ken Stout live, as it's pronounced in some parts of the world. So here I got some chat comments. Oh, gee, I haven't even checked to see if somebody's got a show. I'm overtime already. I need to go through those comments, I think. Ken Stout, this is not a request, Ken Stout. I'm just looking. And Carrie, does he have a show? No. All right. Yeah, Lundog, that's a good advice to Keith, to look at Carrie Holzman's, probably not search, just go look at a recent video and see if there's a link in his descriptions. I think, was there discounts there? Well, since I'm right here, let's go do that. Well, let's go, well, all right, let's just go search for $300 data recovery. I got to search at the right place. We'll do it. I'm not getting a magnifying glass. This search field up here is for YouTube at large. Oh, here's the magnifying glass. 300.
DDT 2005 said I've had one of those Windows activation problems after updating a BIOS.
Okay, so Dennis had an activation problem after updating a BIOS. It may be, your mileage may vary. Just because, for instance, Jim's never had that problem doesn't mean nobody will. So here's Kerry Holzman, $300 data recovery, and then let's see what he's got down here. $300 data recovery. I don't think there's any discounts available for it. But anyway, is this a recent one? No, that's 2017. Let's not give him that one. 5 years ago, 9 months ago, 4 years ago.
Speedmatter said those are very old.
Yeah. Now, here's one that's recent. 9 months old. I think that's the last time he did one. Oh, he's actually at the location showing how the guy operates. Yeah, so let's give you that. I'll right click here and copy video URL and put that in chat for Keith at Keith. Keith. Here is Carrie's video about $300 yeah, $3,000 data recovery. Yikes. There you go. Go watch that video. That'll help you and gain more comfort with that. Oh, we're going into overtime. Holiday and all, you know. Ran Israel a couple days ago.
Thanks.
This is from Tuesday. You're welcome, Keith. So from Tuesday, he said, you're running dual channel mode instead of quad channel. Last time he said dual channel mode, reduced performance. Quad channel, yeah, dual channel should be more poor, less performance than quad channel. I don't know.
Al J said, take it easy today, everyone.
I don't know how much difference it actually makes. I'd love a way to demonstrate it. Now, I think right now, I'm probably in single channel mode because I only have one memory board, and that's obviously in only one memory channel. I believe this computer actually has 4 channels. So if I have all the memory populated, actually I think I can have 4 channels with only half the memory because you use, with 4 memory boards, I think I could get quad channel, couldn't I? With the memory board in one slot of each channel? I don't know that. I haven't really investigated deeply into that. I thought there was something in Task Manager or maybe Performance Monitor where you can see whether you're in dual channel or quad channel, and maybe it's not showing anything there because I'm in single channel mode. I should probably point out over here on memory that it shows I'm using 1 of 8 slots. So I have a 32 gigabyte memory in 1 slot. And as far as performance, another thing that I think I said recently about performance with the amount of memory, and this is also something that Carrie said, and I haven't checked out myself, is that if you have way more memory than you need, like I have 256 gigabytes of RAM for this computer, only 32 gigabytes in it right now, but I have 256 gigabytes. And Carrie's comment was that your computer will boot slower with that. Well, certainly if it's doing all of the BIOS testing, yes, it would. If you're doing the quick start in BIOS where it doesn't go through the tests as thoroughly, will it be quicker? And I was thinking I should time the startup with 1 memory board and then put in all 8 memory boards and see how the startup differs with the quick startup from BIOS and the full startup in BIOS, whatever they call them. They use different words. Jeff Ryman, my last 2 BIOS updates were for potential security issues. The warning might scare off someone from fixing a security issue, even if nothing else was wrong. That is in reference to the piece in the instructions for my motherboard that said, strongly implied, and I think it clearly said, if there's nothing wrong with your computer, then don't update the BIOS because it's a risky thing to do. You know, the words were arranged differently. That's basically what it said. And I had thought the same thing, and I neglected to mention it yesterday. Some of the BIOS updates are for security, and the person would not know that the computer's not operating properly and might not know that there is a security issue. I think in this community, I think we're all pretty much on the same page that BIOS updates ought to be done. I am not a seeker. I don't go find it when it's first available, but because I was having a problem, I did update to that BIOS that only came out in June of this year. So that's a pretty fresh BIOS. Most of the time, I think you're going to be fine with it. Daniel Emberley, think the flashback tool is best reserved for situations where installed BIOS does not work with a newer released CPU. In this computer, that button on the back was called flashback. They were presenting that as the first option because they're putting in chapter 2, the setup chapter, The alternative methods down lower was for recovering from a bricked system. And I think on this computer that flashback tool is fine. Now I think it's very common that flashback, that term on many motherboards, is intended and designed for if you can't get into BIOS setup to do your update there. Where install BIOS does not work with a newer recently CPU. Yeah, because if you put a new CPU in the computer and you can't even get to BIOS because it doesn't recognize that new CPU, then using a method that doesn't require the CPU to be operational is good. In the past, Carrie has often complained about the writing style used by ASUS. Yeah, I demonstrated some of that. Danielle, Armory Crate installed. I have had Armory Crate installed in the past. I don't think I have it now. I see a lot of people regretting installing that. Never installed it on my ASUS system. I think I uninstalled it as part of my troubleshooting for things that were happening. Let's go to appwiz.cpl and Armory Crate. I have Aura. ARM. I do have it installed. I'm not even sure if it's starting with the computer, but my explorations through those softwares, I found them to be not very intuitive, and the benefit of figuring them out, to be able to control my lights better or to see temperatures, I just didn't care enough for how much effort it seemed to take to accomplish anything. Ran Israel, this board is based on a workstation grade chipset. Doesn't appeal to most consumers. Now I'm thinking that, is Ran in chat today? I think he is. Were you referencing my question as to why my board is the Encore model rather than the non-Encore model, that the Encore model is the workstation grade chipset? I had not seen that anywhere, wasn't aware of that. If you have any links or documentation, I would be interested in seeing that. Lawn Dog, here's an issue I was asking Doug about. Should I remove this software, the Armory Crate, if I'm going to install Sound Blaster? You'd have to do some Google searches and see if other people, I'm not an expert enough in Armory Crate and Sound Blaster to know if they have any contraindications between each other. Now, should I remove Armory Crate if I'm going to install Sound Blaster? Let's go over to Edge. Boy, am I in overtime. Let's go over here to, what's this guy called? Copilot, and make, let's see, where was the make him big? This one. To pop that out, make it bigger screen, and then I gotta take that off screen while I bring up clipboard history. Yeah, my clipboard history is safe. Should I remove Armory Crate? Not create, Armory Crate. Just don't confuse the poor sucker. I think that's the right spelling for crate. If I'm going to install Sound Blaster, let's see what Copilot says. Yes, it's a good idea to remove Armory Crate. But yeah, I got the spelling right. Before installing Sound Blaster, to do this cleanly, follow these steps. I'm not going to read through those steps, but you can pause the video if you want to see that. Okay, completed all of that. Did the Adobe problem, talked about Alex and that. So back to chat. Chit chat, Lawn Dog. There's a novel. I'm going to look at everything except for Lawn Dog. Sorry, it's just too much. Take it easy, everyone. Keith, I'm sure they were stocking parts for those old drives and reselling the parts for data recovery. Both my PCs have SSDs now. The external drive was from 5+ years ago, just plugged in for the first time. since then. Danielle gives us an update. Voice meter, is it an update? Donation-based software products are good if you need additional sound routing. Excuse me, equalizer. Okay, she's giving that idea for Lawn Dog's sound inquiries, I think. All right, there we go. I will catch up with the chat messages later. And there's the email address. So happy 4th of July.